Yang penting dia lambatkan ataupun tangguhkan untuk usahawan-usahawan lah.
Nak tahu lebih lanjut, dah faham lebih lanjut,
Terus
tontonlah
je.
Niaga Awani bersama Nabila setiap hari, Isnin sampai Jumaat.
Betul, 9 pagi sampai 10.30 pagi. Tapi itu kita sebagai tukang tanya je, yang pakarnya adalah orang seperti Mohan tadilah daripada SYP.
Baik. Untuk pentas niaga, kita beralih kepada acara berikutnya. Untuk itu kita mempersilakan Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif TTRacing, Henry Ting.
All right. Hello, morning, Henry. Thank you so much for the chairs.
Good morning.
Very comfortable.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hope you liked it.
How are you? Okay?
Great. It's good to be here.
It's a little hot.
Amazing crowd.
But we make it good, especially on these chairs.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. To start off, perhaps being the CEO of this TTRacing, and we can relate it with as a gamer. So, are you a gamer?
I was a gamer. I mean, I am a gamer still. I think I was much more of an avid gamer when I was younger. Probably when I was like 14 to 15 years old.
Okay.
And right now I'm a father of two.
Full-time entrepreneur.
Sorry?
Full-time entrepreneur?
A full-time and also a father of two.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm less of a gamer, much more of a like a family man.
So what made you start introducing this gaming chair?
When I think it was back in 2017. In 2017, when I just graduated from my university. That time I think I was probably about 24, 25 years old. Yeah, I just came back from Singapore, and then TTRacing was quite was one of the first gaming chair brand in Malaysia. Yeah.
So why gaming chair? Because I believe at that time we have like few other brands, established brand, but I believe this is the first Malaysian brand. Is it not?
I think when TTRacing was first started, there wasn't any like sort of gaming chair brand yet in Malaysia. It was still a very new thing for anywhere in the world. You can't find like gaming chair, I think in probably most of the countries, right? And the question is why gaming chair is that I believe a lot of people spend more time sitting on the chair than actually sleeping on the bed. And for that reason, I think that this is one of the things that a lot of people will need in the future. Not just gamers, but also on anyone who is sitting in front of the computer for like 3 to 4 hours a day and above. And everyone like that would need a chair, and that's why.
Is this based on your personal experience? What happened to you as well?
Yeah. So I started my first company back when I was 21 years old, when I was in Singapore. That company was doing more like a gaming peripheral, like mouse and keyboards and whatnot, and to sell it online. So I did that for about like 3 to 4 years in my university, and that's where I got all the experience and also like understanding the gaming consumer within that 3 to 4 years time. And eventually when I started TTRacing, I think that I really understood the market very well, probably better than anyone else. And gaming chair was just one of the product that was within the niche. Yeah.
Can you share an insight about the gaming market compared from when you first started until now? Is it expanding? And if it's expanding, how different it is from back then?
I think it's definitely very different. When I first started, it was back in 2017. I think gaming market as an overall didn't it grew definitely, but gaming chair per se from 2017 until 2024 right now is a big shift. In 2017, I think that you're not able to find any sort of like factory that is able to do gaming chair at all because there's no infrastructure for that. But fast forward till now, that you have all this very mature infrastructure, supply chains to produce something like that, and it just gets better. In terms of market size, yeah, I think it's still going very strong. We're seeing growth not just in Malaysia, but also across all the other countries that we're in.
Is this manufactured locally?
No, so we have a factory in China that does this. But the design-wise and also the concept of the chair, the study of the chair, is all done in Malaysia.
So when you first started, were you a student or working in a company? Or?
Well, at the time, I think I probably just graduated from I probably just graduated from a university. Yeah, and then I was in Singapore, so I came back to Malaysia, and then I decided that this was something that I want to do, and then I continued that in Malaysia.
When it comes to design, how does the design come out?
The design of the chair, it's well, I think it's a combination of a lot of different team effort. Not just from aesthetic point of view, but also in terms of ergonomics, in terms of consumer demand. We try to gather a lot of these insights from our customers. But ultimately, I think what is really important is that it's the soul of the product, right? The soul of the company. What makes TTRacing TTRacing, and that our design is unlike any other company. I'll say any other gaming chair. Today, if you find that you see a TTRacing gaming chair, you will know that it's coming from us. And I think that's the unique point that we're trying to bring in, which is the soul of the entire brand into the design of the chair.
I think TTRacing gaming chair design also, like there's a change between the earlier series until the recent one. I bought TTRacing Search. That one is with my first
that's like
paid
the
salary,
first
so
one.
I'm a bit
That's like the
biased
first one.
about
That's
this.
like the first one,
But the
yes.
thing is about the design, right? The first earlier series of TTRacing is more like a bucket chair, a racing car kind of design, but now it's less.
You're right. You're totally right.
More minimalistic, I would
You're
say.
totally right. So initially, I think all the gaming chairs are built in a way that the structure of it's built much more like a gaming racing chair. And also, I think the reason why TTRacing name is TTRacing is because when we first started, gaming chair was only known to be built like a racing chair, right? But over time, I think that people start to realize that that is not actually the best structure for work or gaming. The best structure is always to be as open as you can, which is the Swift X Pro that you're sitting right now, that you can see that it's very flat and with this kind of waterfall edge. And then the shoulder is not blocked by any other structure. So I think over time, people do realize that, and then we improvise on our design and realize that this is something that is going forward. So yeah, I think if you were to buy, if you ever bought a TTRacing in 2018, probably it's much more like a bucket seat. But right now, I think most of our designs does not have that kind of look anymore, and we try to encompass a larger group of customers.
Help us understand better towards your first opening or starting of the company. First, why TT? Maybe what does it stands for? And then how did you start with, how did you get all the resources first? And when it comes to R&D, research and development, were you like studying the economics of human body, of the back, of any human, health related?
Right.
Do you have any background of that?
I think there's three parts to this, right?
Yeah.
Right? So first one is about why TTRacing. T is actually based on my surname, T, and then racing, like what I said just now, is that when we first started a gaming chair company, there's no like gaming chair company back in 2017. You just don't have this thing, right? And the best way to do this is to sort of relate it to a racing chair. And that's the reason why it's called TTRacing. It's for that purpose, for people to understand that what we're doing. Yeah, so that's the first one. Second part of it is that where we get the sources of the products or raw material or anything like that. I think right now it's we even right now it's all done still in China, and we have thought of bringing that back to Malaysia, but right now I think we still do not have that supply chain and infrastructure to support that. But I believe that that would happen in the future, and we're very happy to bring production back in Malaysia to create more job opportunities and to benefit the locals more. I think that is something that we definitely want to achieve in the future when the time is right. Third part of the question, sorry, what's the third part? What was the third question?
When it comes to building or creating the design, do you actually have any health background?
Yeah. So the design of chair, it comes from several factors. It comes from our understanding of who are our customers, what is the average height and also weight of our customers. What are the specifications that needs to go into a chair, or whether it can fit a vast majority of the people's budget, because you can't build a chair for several hundred thousand. I mean 7,000, and although it's good, but then it can only that few people can afford it. So I think it's a combination of multiple factors. But very, very importantly is that the ergonomic aspect of the chair, and also the aesthetic is also a big part of it. Because I think that what makes our chair looks cool or feel good is that it looks really cool, like sitting around your house, right? And when your friend comes into the house and they say that, hey, this chair is so cool, right? And I think the feel good factor about the chair, it has to be there. So, yeah. That's the answer.
The thing about gaming chair design is some of my family will not agree with that because the chair is a bit bulky, so people are complaining, why are your chairs so big? You're closing the path for people to walk.
It's hard to store it.
I totally agree, right? So the other day we were just having this conversation, right, that why not we put some TTRacing chairs in the living room, right? And the thing is that it doesn't really work that well because, like you said, maybe it's bulky and it doesn't really fit into a living room. But the thing is that it's more commonly used in a workspace or gaming room, or I would say even offices right now. A lot of meeting rooms they're trying to change to TTRacing gaming chairs. I think that one of the main reasons is that it spikes a lot of this creativity among the employees in the company, and that it just feels very vibrant to have something like that in your office, right? As compared to a very traditional office that you can't really think of anything, right? And yeah, aesthetic-wise, I think it really boosts the kind of creativity among employees. Yeah.
Just like you mentioned, in the future you would like to bring the production of this chair here in Malaysia. May I know what kind of challenges you're facing in order for you to bring the production from China here in Malaysia?
Well, I think if given a chance to do that, I think we would definitely want to do it, right? To have productions all in Malaysia, to be 100% locally sourced. But of course, that there are a lot of challenges in doing that. One of the main challenges is definitely the cost of the raw materials. That I think if you were to produce something similar in Malaysia today, it probably would cost about, I would say, at least 50% more. 50% more. And that's also from multiple things and not just raw materials. It's also the workmanship, the labor costs, and also the expertise of the entire production line, right? That is not available yet. But I mean, we are very hopeful that this will happen one day. We hope that this, by bringing back, we are able to bring back productions back in Malaysia, and it will be something that we will be very proud of. Yeah.
And currently, your distribution is the entire world, is it? The order come from.
So currently, we're operating in 5 countries. So Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Philippines, Australia, Southeast Asia and Australia actually. And we are having a very aggressive global expansion plan. In 2025, you'll probably see us in another, I would say, 3 to 4 more countries. And those are the countries that we go indirect, meaning that we have a physical presence in that country. We have a showroom and office in that country per se. But of course, across the globe, I think you can also find our products via a global distributor, like Indonesia, Cambodia, Maldives. You can find our products via distributor. Yeah.
So to actually go through to that market with a few of established brands, I wouldn't say the names, but how do you actually put your strategy ahead to actually compete with all those big names?
Well, I think that's a very good question that I think every company has to answer for themselves, right? And for TTRacing, I think it has to come from the originality of the brand. And what does the brand really stand for? Because if we're just looking at products itself, anyone can do the same product, right? And if I take any single bottle and give it to a factory, anyone can produce that bottle, right? There's no big issue with that. But what really differentiates us from the rest is that even if you have an exact same product, you are not able to live up to the experience of the brand. Shopping at TTRacing and shopping at any other competitor would be a very different experience from the starting point to the ending, to the end. And
so what kind of experience do you mind sharing?
Sorry?
What kind of experience that's different?
In terms of product-wise, if I would just have to mention like maybe a few, product design-wise, every single part of the chair, like this one, you would see a very slight adjustment in terms of like why this angle is of this particular degree, right? And if you were to look at any other people who is trying to, let's say, replicate this particular product, they do not understand why this would have to be of this angle. So they would not put that kind of emphasis on this particular part. And we know that by having this, it is very crucial. It is very crucial to have this because it changes the entire experience of sitting on the chair. And this can only be achieved when the originality of the design of the brand is in the product. Otherwise, it would just feel like it's just a chair, and you're sitting nothing more than just a ergonomic chair, but not a TTRacing chair. And I think another point to that is that shopping at TTRacing, I think it's from the very beginning. If you were to tell us like what are you looking for, right? Or even before you, because I think many people shopping for a gaming chair, they do not really know what they're looking for. They don't actually go into a shop and say that, hey, today I need a gaming chair of this size. They don't know that, right? So they need that kind of guidance from us to tell them that what fits them the best. And we're able to provide that kind of recommendation very accurately. And we also know that what our consumer really want and what will fit them the best. I think that's the kind of difference.
To give you some perspective from my own experience, when I first
Go ahead.
Yeah, when I buy my first gaming chair, the first thing is it must look cool.
Okay.
The color must be bright, so
Okay.
it must be red. But then when it comes to sizing, how tall it should be, all the other things, I cannot actually know which size I should take. So at the end, I just take the largest one and the tallest one because I thought I'm tall enough.
But do you feel it's comfortable?
It's comfortable because I've been using it for 5 years already.
But
It started cracking this year. But for the past 4 years, I think in terms of quality, I think it's set for itself.
So yours is the one yang macam gaming chair tu lah, literally ada macam
Yeah,
racing.
it's the bucket.
Racing
It's
style.
a conventional bucket chair. This part is very high actually.
That's right.
Cannot actually
That's right.
spread my leg.
Yeah.
And then the bucket is quite big. Yeah.
So one of the first buyers lah kot. But You do have a question to ask?
Yeah, actually, when we're talking about gaming chair, certainly it's can be related to the younger generation because for them, owning a gaming chair, in a way, is a statement of they are being either pro gamer or someone who into games, something like that. But then you said also about the economic aspect, about this chair being comfortable to sit for a long time in a day. Do you put some thought for older people to sit in this chair when you design this chair?
Well, I think the general concept of when it comes to designing a product is that you try to encompass as many group of customers as you can. And I think that, you know, whether or not the elder generation would be able to fit in, I don't think that's a key concern. But if the question is that whether we are able to serve any sort of elder generation with this ability, right? I don't think that we are at that stage yet. It will be great that in the future we can develop some sort of tech that is able to help to adjust the ergonomics to people with disability or specific back problems. That will be something that I think will be very meaningful. But as of any chair, I think that, you know, right now it's you can't just cater. I mean, you can technically just cater to one specific group of audience, a group of customers. But you know, then you have to have many variations of that, which is not what we're currently doing. But for elder generation wise, yes, I think for anyone that is like 40, 50, or 60 years old, we have seen like I think one of the oldest customer that we have was probably like close to 90 years old. Yeah, 90 years old. Yeah. So I think one of the grandson bought it for the grandfather.
Did they buy it for any specific reason why they want to give a gaming chair?
I'm not too sure, but I saw that photo. And it was very heartwarming to see that, and you know, it just feels really good to have our products to be used by, you know, someone who is so senior. Yeah.
Amazing. Wait, before we end our session, we have about 7 minutes left. I just want to know, this is just another part of producing a gaming chair. What do you do with the products that's actually defect or worn out that cannot be sold towards customers? So what do you actually do with that? For example, if you've, let's say for foods, we can actually, we have a specific process for that. Or for clothes, we can do recycle or reuse. But for gaming chairs, what do you do with it?
Yeah, I think one of the key initiatives that we're trying to roll out is also to, because if a product is worn out or defective, it means that it cannot be used for any other purpose anymore. Because unlike any other products, but for a chair, if it's like you have a tear in somewhere at the leather or anything, you would have to re-upholster the entire thing. And the cost of doing that is actually, I would say it's relatively high as compared to, I think it's close to actually replacing the entire part of the chair, right? So I think what's next is that if it's just a minor defect, what we're trying to do is also to have this, to send it to those, the organizations that can help with like those in need. Underprivileged children who, you know, that is living in poverty. We saw that previously, I think Ministry of Youth and Sports was trying to do a similar thing to help students who are actually, you know, not as a so financially well families, to provide them with like laptops and, you know, whatever amenities to help them succeed. And I think that this is something that we're trying to join the ministry with, to provide this to you know, students or, you know, people and Malaysians that are in need of this product. Yeah.
In terms of TTRacing future, do you see TTRacing is going to be another unicorn for Malaysia? Because I see, you know, TTRacing is one of the flagship. In terms of gaming chair brand in Malaysia, I think there's the opportunity.
Well, definitely, I think, yeah. I think definitely yes. I think we're very clear with what we want to do as a company. And in terms of the traction that we have gotten, so TTRacing essentially we just expanded out of Malaysia in 2022. And in this year, we're already in 5 countries. I think that will grow exponentially. And then in terms of product line, we started off as a gaming chair brand. And then after that, we also have introduced our smart desk, which is the adjustable standing desk. And we also introduced our latest ergo chair line, which is more suited for like offices or homes or people who just do not like the fancy chairs design, but like something that is more minimal, and they can fit into anywhere of their office or their homes. So in terms of product lines, we are also adding a lot more things that is able to help our users in terms of ergonomic, in terms of helping them to perform better over the longer hours. So I think back to your question is that whether we can be the next unicorn. I think that if we are able to execute them well, yeah, I think that's very likely. Yeah.
And since you say that TTRacing product now is expanding to other stuff as well, desk, ergonomic chair, and whatnot, do you agree with my statement saying that now TTRacing is moving towards a different path? Previously, it's focusing on gaming chair. Now there's other stuff also. So maybe TTRacing itself.
Well, you're right. I think you're definitely right. So, we started out just like a gaming chair company, but then we realized that actually people did not think that we're just a gaming chair company. It's more of an ergonomic company. So whichever product that we can use our expertise to create to help people to work longer and to perform better, it's something that it's in our core mission, right? And that's the reason why when we after gaming chair, we started out our smart desk and also ergo chair. We tested out with our customers, and the response was great. And I think it tells us one thing, that people do not just think that our products are for gaming purpose, but they are more generally used for any other purpose to help them with their ergonomics. Yeah.
So in conjunction of Deepavali and also reaching year-end, any special offers from TTRacing? Perhaps for the gamers in front of us?
Well, I think that I think we do. I think we certainly do. But yeah, check out our website. I think there will be a lot more information. But yeah, normally like year end is one of the best period for us. So I would say that it's the best time for you to get like a very a good deal out of it. Whether it's on our website, whether it's on like our marketplace store like Shopee, Lazada, and anything.
Alright, siapa nak dapatkan kerusi gaming chair, boleh terus pergi ke website TTRacing. Bosnya kata ada sale nanti hujung tahun, year end sale. So siapa-siapa yang belum lagi ataupun rasa nak tukar kerusi gaming ataupun kerusi untuk bekerja pun boleh terus ke website TTRacing. Alright.
Baik, sekiranya anda terlepas perbincangan kami sebentar tadi, anda boleh ikuti semula siaran ulangannya di YouTube Astro AWANI. Kita siaran langsung di semua platform Astro AWANI juga di waktu ini. Tapi apapun untuk waktu ini, satu tepukan kepada tetamu kita, Ting, Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif TTRacing atas perkongsian tadi. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
And please stay. We have.
But I need you to stay here for a while because we are moving on to the next session. Cabutan
Bertua.